Right, well, while waiting for the Galaxy S20 Ultra to show up, I figured I'd make a video you guys request with every phone I review, and seeing as I never made one for the Pixel 4 XL, here you go. So, a bunch of people really liked the home screen from my Galaxy S10 Plus video I posted earlier last week and were asking about it. Well, this is the phone I pulled everything from, so don't worry, I'll get into it. Anyways, let's get past the first 3 settings menus because I think you're all smart enough to know how to set that stuff up. I mean, after all, you are watching a video from me. So then jumping into battery first real quick, I keep a battery saver off because I almost never need it. I've got adaptive battery enabled because yes, it does actually work, although you probably won't notice it because the battery's so bloody small for a phone this big. I also have battery percentage enabled because, you know, logic. I'm backing out of there and moving into display settings, I leave night light and adaptive brightness off because eyesight be damned. Under styles and wallpapers, I created my own. So not that it matters, but I went with the first font choice, the 4th icon choice, I went with the white accent color option because the other colors look like shit with the colors I chose for the home screen. And last, I went with the round shape icons, but it doesn't really matter because I'm using custom icons anyways. I obviously have dark theme enabled, and then rolling down the advanced settings, if you can call them that, I set screen timeout to 30 minutes because sometimes I poop for a few minutes and sometimes it's longer. I keep screen attention off because it's never really worked for me on phones ever. Auto rotate, yes. For colors, I like eye melting saturation for my phones, but had to settle for boosted. I leave ambient EQ off, font size default, smooth display, you guys know me by now, on obviously. Display size default and screensaver off. Does anyone even use screensaver? Now in lock screen display, I show all content and keep skip lock screen disabled because sometimes I just want to see what and how many notifications. Add users from lock screen, no. And lock screen messages, I don't know, sometimes. Show lockdown option, no. Under now playing, I have it enabled but have notifications for it turned off. I have idle lock screen set to always on so that I can always see at a glance if there's any notifications waiting, super handy. I also have reach to check phone, tap to check phone, and new notifications turned on, but lift to check phone turned off. Okay, we're done with displays, so let's move into sound. Vibrate for calls is set to always because it's not only handy, but I like the way it makes me feel. I've got a do not disturb schedule set up so I don't get startled by notifications in the middle of the night, which is an actual thing that's happened many times. I have live caption set to auto so I can just enable it from the volume button menu when I want. Shortcut to prevent ringings off, we've already covered now playing, and under what Google considers advanced sound settings, I have some lovely ringtone and notification sounds selected. And everything else is off except for charging sounds and touch vibration, because I'm not the devil incarnate forcing everyone to hear me reply to a text. Storage is pretty boring, but I do have smart storage enabled because I already rely heavily on cloud storage. Privacy is pretty boring too, and those settings are really more so based on how much of a tinfoil hatter you are, so we'll skip that one. Location. Again, how much do you value your oath to the conspiracy theory fraternity of paranoia? For security, I use face unlock, obviously, but I don't use any smart lock features. Last thing I need is one of my friends coming over to my house and typing up a messed up tweet on my phone while I go for one of those 30-minute poops. Accounts, pretty self-explanatory. Digital well-being, I ignore completely because I'm not a child. And Google services and preferences, I set to none ya damn business. Popping in a system, I use Gboard for the keyboard because I don't care what you say, it's the best. Under gestures, I have skip songs and silence interruptions turned on. I have Active Edge turned off because it just doesn't seem to work as consistently as simply saying the magic words or just tapping the assistant button on my home screen. Jump to cameras on, as it should be, and flip cameras off. I have system navigation set to gesture navigation, tap to check phones on, but we've already covered that. You may have noticed by now Google likes repeat settings in multiple menus. Yeah, I don't know why either. Anyways, everything else I turn off, and backing out of there, I have motion sense enabled, but again, we've already covered the settings here in display settings. See what I mean with repeating settings? Anyways, I have backups turned on because I'm not crazy, and I also have developer options enabled, which you can Google how to do if you don't know. And in there, I have forced 90Hz refresh rate enabled so the display is always locked to 90Hz. Screw battery life. I also have all 3 animation scales set to 0.5 for a slightly snappier feel. Now, just before we get into the theme, as the kids like to call it, it's not really a theme, it's just a launcher, wallpaper, and icon pack. There's just a few settings I change in the phone and messaging apps. So in the phone apps settings, I go to calls and then enable Wi-Fi calling so that I can send and receive calls in my studio because I got little to no signal down here. Then I jump into caller ID and spam and enable both. Then I jump into the messaging app settings and enable chat features, otherwise known as RCS or Rich Communication Service. It's dope, so if your carrier supports it, turn it on. Alrighty, on to the home screen. So the wallpaper is from an app called AMOLED Walls. It's free in the Play Store, and the name name of the wallpaper is called Line Arts. I'm using Nova Launcher Prime and have the folder set up with a swipe to open gesture to keep things looking a little cleaner. I'm also using the Google Bar widget from Nova Launcher and themed it to match the wallpaper in the icon pack, which is called LineBit SE. It's 75 cents in the Play Store right now, and I think it's totally worth it. And that's it. That's how I set up my Pixel 4 XL. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to my Nova Launcher backup file in case anyone wanted the same setup, so you can check out the video description for that. Just remember, you'll need all the wallpaper, launcher, and icon pack apps for the backup file to restore it properly. Anyways, drop me a comment and let me know what you think, or if there's anything you'd change. But that does it for this one. Show me some love with that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new to my stuff, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram to see what I'm up to next. But thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Cheers.